Welcome to Turkey Bootcamp, week number 4. You're probably wondering, why is that guy sitting on the ground with his legs out in front of him, shooting his bow? And this is what we're gonna start talking about this week. We're gonna go through kind of my turkey setup as a bow, some of the gear that I use, some of the different things I do, and I'm gonna take you through my turkey practice routine, because one of the things where people really mess up when they're bow hunting turkeys is they are pulling too much draw weight. And so what I always do is I want to make sure that my draw weight is in check. Because when you're bow hunting turkeys and you're inside a ground blind, I realize you're not going to be sitting flat on your butt. I realize you're probably going to be in a chair. But if you're using a bow mounted decoy like those from Ultimate Predator Gear or some of the others, there's a very good chance I have found myself in some awkward positions. And here's the thing with turkeys. Turkeys have unparalleled eyesight. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the more movement you create, the more unnecessary movement you create, the bigger problem you're going to have as far as spooking a bird. Bow hunting them is hard enough. Extra movement spooks birds. So the reason I do this is if I cannot, and you should do this exercise, go sit flat on your butt. I am 4 weeks out tomorrow from lower back surgery. L5 through S2 or something like that is my second one. So I was just even cleared to shoot starting yesterday. But if you cannot clip onto your bow, hold that bow straight out in front of you, and come straight back, settle in, and make an accurate shot. Sorry, I'm smiling. It feels so good to shoot the bow again. Then you are pulling too much weight, because you will see guys and girls and kids and whoever doing this when they draw. You'll see it all the time. You'll see them do it on the range. You'll see it on Instagram. You'll see it on YouTube. And it drives me bananas. Now, for me to do this one with the lower back surgery, I'm going to have to come up to my knees. So, but I see a lot of people doing this when they draw. They go hook on their D-loop and they go to draw and they do this, come down, and execute. Why are they pointing that bow up like that? Because they don't have enough strength, and that's not a knock against anyone at all. They're just simply pulling too much poundage. Or you will see, and for this one I'm going to have to stand up because I can't do this one with the back surgery sitting down. So I'm going to stand up here. Or you'll see a lot of people do this. They'll start here, they'll go to draw, and they'll so think of the unnecessary movement and what you're going to create having to draw your bow like this or draw your bow like this. That bow should be able to be out in front of you, clip on, retract the string, settle in, and shoot. We are working to limit movement when we are turkey hunting from inside a ground blind, from outside a ground blind, whatever you're doing, that movement has got to be reduced. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move to the next exercise. So, I start a lot of my turkey practice routines in different ways. Today's gonna be all about those practice routines. We're not quite there yet, because in this next clip, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about some specifics I like within my bow for my turkey setup, and then we're gonna get to the actual shooting routine, a routine I use at least 2-3 times a week as I prepare for turkey season. All right, so now I'm sitting down in a chair. I do hunt out of a ground blind a lot, and I do hunt a lot with a bow mounted decoy. You guys need to go check out Ultimate Predator Gear and check out their bow mounted stalker turkey decoy. It's the most fun you can have turkey hunting ever. It's absolutely amazing. But sometimes even with that, I'm in a chair. I'm in a lower profile Alps chair, but I do shoot a lot out of a chair. So what I want to talk a little bit about now is within this practice routine, I am going to practice how I hunt. So everybody always says that, practice makes perfect. No, perfect practice makes perfect. We all know that. So before I move into the next part of this shooting routine, and even before I really start talking about my bows here, or 2 different bows here, I'm gonna get back. I talked in episode 3 about distance to target. I like to be between 12 and 15, 12 and 17, under 20 yards, but no closer than 12. And what all I want to do is I want to get back and I want to get my confidence going. So I draw, settle, aim, and execute in that middle or upper third. That bird's going nowhere. Now that I've done that, I want to talk about some turkey specific gear that I highly recommend. So this is Hoyt's AX3 33. It's a 33-inch axle to axle bow. A lot of turkey hunters, and if you're just a turkey hunter, or I don't mean that in a bad way, if you're just a turkey hunter and you just hunt whitetails and you don't go out west where longer shots are more common, feel free to shrink down that axle to axle rating, or maybe just an AX29 feels good to you, or a Matthews Arc 30. It's a great bow as well. Shoot what makes you feel comfortable. But one of the things I'm loving right now on this is brand new for 2026. This is Spot Hog's Roadie system on the Booney system, if that makes sense. So it's the Booney with the Roadie housing. Now, what this Roadie housing does is it's got 2 pins inside. So when I hunt turkeys, I want vertical, not horizontal pins. I don't want any clutter in that housing because most of the time I'm just using the top pin. I got the second pin on my sight tape, so in case that bird's out a little farther, and then of course I've got my adjustability on the Booney system here. But what I love about this Roadie system is this. It is a smaller housing, nice and bright pins, and so it's more of a competition style housing where I can be really finite with my aiming, because as we've talked and as we're going to talk more about here in a little bit, when you're shooting at a turkey, there is no room for error. You need to be perfect. No pressure, but you need to be perfect. So I really like this. Another thing I love about the Roadie system is these Allen screws right here on the back end of the sight, here, here, and here. These come off. And then you can put a new pin cartridge in. So you can move this to a single pin. You can do a lot of things, and there's more coming. Trust me, I'm testing some of it right now. Can't really talk about it right now, but it is amazing. Of course, for me, it's never any other option. Q80's Ultra Rest, this is the MX2. I am a cable-driven guy. It's just the way it is. Got cutter stabilizer here. 3 weights on the end, 3 1-ounce weights. This is the 12-ounce altitude, I believe. And it is imperative for me when I'm turkey hunting that my bow has limb legs. Go sticks here. We'll talk about the next bow in a minute, but these go sticks, absolutely important, because the last thing you want to be doing if you're using a bow mounted decoy is sitting here holding your bow for 2 hours waiting. You can set that in front of you. That full fan decoys out front, you're in a low profile chair. If you're in a ground blind, I keep mine right here, right in front of me, so that when that bird comes in, movement is minimized and I'm straight up. I don't want that bow in a ground blind over here. Why don't I want it over here? Because now I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do all these different things. We're working to minimize movement. Now, on this particular bow, I've been doing a lot of testing with Expedition's Next Light 33. Here's what I'm going to tell you that I love in this bow. 3.75 pounds bare weight. Bare weight, without accessories. And as you can see, inline accessory attachment, the whole 9 yards. This sucker is light, and this thing is an absolute tack driver. Now, I have a 5-pin system going in here. I don't have another Roadie right now, and I was doing some other testing so it doesn't have a single pin. But again, just like we talked about before, if I'm here in a ground blind, we are here, here, here. You have got to be able to draw your bow that way. And there. As you can see, both of these bows are hyper-tuned. They're deadly. We're crushing birds. Now we're going to move into the actual exercises I do as I'm preparing for a turkey hunt. All right, so moving into more of my turkey practice routine. One of the things I forgot to mention is you want a really good bino chest harness. I've messed with a bunch of them. Kafaru's right now is, it's what I'm running. It's probably the best one that I've run to date. I like it because when the lid comes open, everything holds down. You can almost tuck it under. As you can see, my rangefinder here is easily accessible. Everything's ready. Again, we're working to minimize movement. So I just thought I'd throw that in. This has been a great one. I just got it. I like the side pouch. Very, very compact, and I really, really like it. Now, also a spot for my hinge, which is, if a bino harness doesn't have a spot for a hinge, I don't want it. So part of my turkey practice routine, again, we're in the chair. Okay, so we're in the chair, and where we are right now is we are 30 yards from a Reinhardt buck. Now, a deer's not a turkey, but here's the thing that I'm doing. I have targets that I know personally. You should have targets you know personally. And if you don't, you need to go shoot some archery clubs, 3D tournaments, etc., that give me some fits. I want smaller sized targets that require finite aiming and are a little harder to, they don't give me any margin for error. Like if I was to shoot that big elk target over there from 30 yards, I got a lot of margin for error. I'm not gonna lose an arrow, I'm not gonna break an arrow, I'm not gonna skip it off its back. So what I like to do is, again, practicing how I'm going to perform. Up, boom, and boom. So, but no, that's not like anywhere he's like, well, oh, you just made a 30-yard shot on a deer. Great. But it's more for me, the repetition and how I did it. Straight to my bow, straight to my draw, 12 ring, 10 ring, whatever, doesn't matter, that's dead. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to leave my chair. I'm gonna leave it right here, because a lot of times I'm gonna find myself on the ground, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna move back, because I like to get out and I like to run and gun a lot. Now, another target that really gives me fits. If you guys go shoot tack and you come into this target, chances are it's gonna be up on a log or something. I've also got my bow sitting up here, but there's a mountain lion target down there now. It's at 46 yards. So, am I gonna shoot a turkey at 46 yards? Probably not. No, it's not why I do it. But if you notice that mountain lion target, it's long, it's slender, it's a tough, tough, tough target for me. And I'm moving back in distance. So now, dropping to the knees, because I might have a bow mounted decoy. Coming up, that one's a little left, but it's still a good shot. Remember, I'm out of breath. I've only been shooting, I shot yesterday and today. I just got cleared to shoot my bow from back surgery, and that's probably why I'm smiling more. When you can't do something, all of a sudden you can do it again. It just gives you thanks to God that you get to do it again. So, 2 arrows, 2 good shots. That one is twice as far as I would shoot a turkey. I don't hunt turkeys with a bow to shoot them far. I want that up close personal encounter. So what I'm doing now is I'm incorporating a routine that has lots and lots and lots of double distance practice and triple distance practice. So let's go ahead. We're gonna move back. I've got a really tough Reinhardt deer target. The 10 ring and 12 ring on this target is one of the smallest that I've ever seen. It's absolutely crazy. So let's move to about right here. We got 48. So within this, what I'm doing now, again, way more distance than I'm gonna shoot a turkey at, way more distance. So again, gonna drop down, bow's out in front, drawing, settling, aiming, and I do believe that is a perfect 12. So that is what I do throughout my routine. I'm gonna keep moving back. I'm gonna keep going to lesser sized targets. I'm not shooting the bears that have big body cavities. I'm not shooting the elk. I'm not shooting a full square sized block. I'm not shooting, I've got a sheep target down there with a deeper chest. I want to practice double distance turkey practice on lesser sized big game targets with small vitals. That's what I want to do. So let's walk up now and let's take a look at these and let's see how we truly did as we move back. And I apologize, I told you guys that one was 48, it was 46. I'm still messing with the sight tape on this bow, so it was 46, not 48. I apologize for that. So, gonna set the bow down. Oh, stay. For me, that's about as good as it gets. For me, this is why I practice so much and put on so much. I mean, look at this. Look at the scoring ring on this thing. It's not even 3 inches across. Look at the 12 ring on this. 46 yards, twice as far, more than twice as far as I'm gonna shoot a turkey. And I'm looking for finite aiming. Drilled it, okay. And again, look how small this target is. This isn't a full-size deer. I have very little margin for error here. That's gonna push you, that should be an audible reset in your mind, like a click and a release, for how you're aiming. It's just, you're aiming, aiming, aiming. Let the release fire the bow. Okay, here is, look at this Reinhardt. I mean, this thing looks like a Texas-sized doe, but smaller. We are just cracking the 10 ring, but still on a turkey, absolutely dead. No margin for error. Now, let's go up to the lion. This target for me, everybody, I've killed 2 mountain lions with my bow. It is the hardest target for me to shoot. It is a long body. It is a skinny body. In the vitals, dead lion, but this was my one of my closer shots, if I remember right, and that's not good enough. That's simply not good enough. For a turkey, that arrow needs to be somewhere in here, so that's not good enough. So that's a fail. So now I gotta go back and I've got to diagnose why and continue to work, fighting for center, aiming, 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 letting the release fire the bow. Go through double distance practice as you practice for turkeys, and when you get that 20-yard chipper, 18-yard chipper, 16-yard chipper, just shoot them in the head. Call it good because you're gonna be that accurate. I hope this video helped. We'll be coming at you next week.